Game time. Game time. Game time. We winning, we winning, we winning, we winning. It's game time. Game time.
Welcome back to the Game Time Greatness Podcast. This is the third episode. I'm your host, Brandon Scott.
And I'm your co-host, Jake Vassar.
Here we have
Ethan Wright,
former...
GG champion.
We have 2 champions here and 1 non-champion.
Non-champion.
Hey, 2020 champ.
Ooh, curse your team. No, just kidding. So we have some stats.
Breaking news, David Johnson, torn ACL.
Whoa. Not funny.
We have
Not real.
We have some draft recaps since we didn't end up having a post-draft episode. Not much. We're just going to quickly glance over, and then a few stats and interesting things of the week. Some of these will be a recurring thing. So like we have like an interesting pickup of the week. We'll just kind of check in on the league, so everyone, mainly Jack, who doesn't check out the league ever, will be able to tell what happened. So, all right. So we'll start out with the draft.
So I think for once, Yahoo may have gotten it right.
Ooh.
They projected CC to have the best final record, and he won his first week with the most points scored. So
He won best draft and had the most points
yeah,
week 1. What could go wrong? I don't think there's any way CC's team could get worse from him.
I think he has the championship.
I'm pretty sure he's already won. Like, it's impossible for him to
Let's just tape it with gold marker.
Yeah, we'll
right
just go.
on there.
We'll just go and put it on right now.
Final slot there on the first side.
We were talking about his team. We all know what's really going to happen. He's going to get second place again.
No, he's getting first. There's nothing that can happen.
He's got
nothing
in the bag.
Okay, so I have here a blunder of the draft, and that is Cole Bennett for drafting Marquise Lee. Drafting a player that's not going to play the whole season.
You know what, Cole? I'm kind of with you there. I had no idea he got injured.
To be fair, I didn't know either, but we needed something to say here, so that's a blunder.
You fool! Just kidding. I would have never done that.
Lastly, we'll let Ethan talk about the steal of the draft, which Jarvis got. And it seems like Ethan doesn't like talking about Jarvis's team.
I don't want
He's
to talk about
shy.
his team because his team beat me this
Smacked
week.
him.
Oh.
And this player was part of the reason of that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You should
When
know.
you take someone in the 15th round and they put up over 20% of your points, if you don't win, your team's garbage. Worse than garbage. And his team is right at garbage. So the 20% from James Conner.
You lost to garbage.
helps.
So.
No, I lost to garbage plus James Conner.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's acceptable.
Moving on from the draft, so that's our whole post-draft pod. We have some of our weekly stats. I guess we're going. These aren't our stats of the week. That's a different segment. But some of our weekly things. The first thing is the most unlucky of the week, and that has to go to Noah Dunsmore. Noah scored 169.9 points. I don't know what place that should have been in the league, but he was one of the top scorers of. He was one of the top scorers of the week, and he managed to lose, bringing him down to 7th place. So,
Still has a great team though. Hate to say it.
Yeah.
I'm a lover of Noah's team.
All right, Jake. I think you have something.
Yeah. So extremely rare occasion. Ryan Fitzpatrick put up 50 points. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the last person to do that was like Cam Newton in 2016.
It's hard to remember someone that actually got a 5 in front of their score. Like a lot of people will have that boom.
We've seen 48 by Julio.
48. Do you remember one?
Ben Roethlisberger.
What last year when he
had 56. That's right.
But it's just so rare, and especially to have especially not have one not owned.
It's insane.
That's crazy. Okay, I have one for the most interesting pickup of the week, and I am awarding this to Grant for spending $8 on a defense.
Chicago Bears.
I wanted Chicago. I'm a little salty about it, but $8. I mean, that's a meal at Chipotle. I'm not even mad.
Grant, how does it feel to spend $8 on my left?
So interesting doesn't mean bad necessarily. It's a very interesting move. Like I spent 16 on a running back.
Remember when
could get
Zach
nothing.
spent $15 on a kicker?
I thought it was 10, but
It was 15 on
Brandon McManus. I remember that. Hey, he traded him, I believe, for a running back.
No way.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on.
Time for the weekly historical checkup.
So we have some sad news this week. CC just barely missed the 200 club with 199.58.
Bad.
Not sure if that .58 is correct.
So in our weekly historical checkup, we'll check up on if anyone this week broke the 200 club or if someone didn't manage to break the 100. So if you're in the sub 100 club. Unfortunately, I have someone looking at me pouting right now because the person who
hiding behind the curtain
was able to not, like, it's honestly a feat to not score that much.
I've actually...
It's impressive.
I'm not going to say it.
It's impressive to not score that much.
Jake, you've never done it before?
But that goes to Matt Ursary. No, Matt Ursary. Rays Bays. He had a rough week. The good thing is, Matt, there's only one way to go from here, and that's up.
He could get
Hopefully.
75 points.
Who did that? Zach?
Probably
Holmes.
Zach scores 75 one week, 175 the next.
Okay.
We're bust.
So on to our stats of the week before we ask our guests some questions. I'll go ahead and give the first stat. Wait, you have something else?
No, I was
Okay.
going to give you my stat, but go.
Okay. I go first, bro. How many times is your name on the championship trophy? 1, 2 for me? I don't see Jake.
Well, one of those should have a star.
It's coming
on
in.
it.
Anyway,
It's
so
the glare. That's why I don't.
stat 1, Rivers and Kamara totaled 61% of Cole's points this week. 61%. 2 players.
Fluke.
We start 11 players.
Yeah.
We start 11.
So theoretically,
Fun fact.
I don't know if that's correct.
No,
His
it's
starting
actually
3
is.
receivers add up to less than 7 points.
No way.
Is that real?
Wow.
Why
Is
does
he
he
the
know?
1, 2, and 3 or
This
about
man
2 points
isn't even
each?
prepared, and he knows. He knows. All right.
I
On to
knew
your
this because
stuff.
I wanted to trade for someone on his team, and they're all garbage except Kamara.
I'm guessing Chris Hogan.
Also garbage.
Explodes himself. Of the top 7 scoring wide receivers this week, only 1 appeared on a winning team, and that's Tyreek Hill. Also, that's
The top 7.
top 7. That's unbelievable, and that's courtesy of Zach Chambers, who actually took his first win in week 1 in 4 years? In the last 4 years.
Hey, don't take my stat.
No,
So the next stat, mine's number 2 stat.
I came up with it.
Zach sent me this. That's why I knew it. Well, I asked him. First time in 4 years that Zach's team has ever gone 1-0.
He's been in the league 4 years.
I think he truly believes that's a turning point.
We've had
What-
3 wins for that long.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's a turning point for Zach's team? Do you think he's on his chance to his playoff run this year?
Not a chance.
Look, it's the same Zach team we've seen every year. Rename your team to Boomer Bust.
You
Start
take the
busting,
same-
and you won't make
When you
playoffs.
take the
get seventh
same
place.
5 or 6 players and they're in your lineup every week for 4 years, nothing's gonna change.
We need to go back and look at which players consistently been on Zach's team. There's got to be one.
All right,
Tyreek Hill.
Jake. All right, Jake. You're
It's
up.
impossible, though. Ooh, we have a fun fact for you today. The longest NFL game time duration since 1970, like NFL merger, happened this week. Titans versus Dolphins. It took 7 hours and 11 minutes. They ended around the time Sunday Night Football was starting, and they started at noon.
I was there for the whole thing.
And I just wanted to watch it, and every time I wanted to, either Brendan didn't show the channel or they were on a rain delay.
Okay, and then Jake over here. Show the good games like the Dolphins-Titans game. That's easily the most boring matchup of the
Kenny
week.
and Drake, beast.
Okay, on to my last stat.
3 yards of carry.
My last stat of the week.
16 points.
The top 5 receivers from week 1.
9.
Hey, the top 5 receivers from week 1.
This is
Only
pretty
one of them were over 6 feet tall.
good. Who's that?
Oh my god.
Michael Thomas. That's pretty insane. Like, if you think about most of the top receivers, they at least break 6 foot. Like, you got Thomas, Julio, Demarius,
AJ Green.
Green. Like, even Brown, I think is he
Evans.
5'10"?
I think he's 5.
Antonio Brown?
5'10" or 5'11".
But you know, he's the only one that's really
He's
up there
5'11".
with the elite. So I thought that was a pretty crazy
Well,
stat.
Odell is under 6 feet.
He didn't
Try to beat them.
He's
All
hurt.
right, all right, Jake.
Torn ACL already. That's all I got.
Oh, cool. Okay, on to our questions. But before we go on to our questions, I have to apologize for this man's appearance. He doesn't understand that what it takes to be a professional when you make such quality in your podcast like we do.
Zeke's Freaks, baby!
That
So-
would be Grant's team name.
His
Zeke
name's the
Squad.
Zeke Squad.
Can someone explain that one?
It's like the Geek Squad.
Oh.
What world do you live in?
It
Anyway,
was Suicide Squad, and it didn't really match.
I'm going to go ahead and skip to one of my questions since this man is wearing such unprofessional attire. How do you feel that you betrayed your boy and your boys and potentially gave up not only Zeke this year,
And then turns up to the thing.
but next year
To be fair,
during the draft?
I was wearing this shirt while I did it.
That makes it
It's
worse.
a confident pick.
I was like,
Who scored more
Very
week
confident
one,
pick.
though?
Antonio Brown.
Okay, well then he made the right decision
So far, I've made the
at
right
this
pick.
point.
Also,
do you feel good in your soul? That's what the question is.
it hurt a little bit, but then I realized how big of an idiot Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan are. It makes me feel a little bit better about my pick.
How do you feel about Des Bryant? Anyway, moving on. Jake, you're...
Want you back.
I didn't ask you about Tony, okay?
So here's probably the lightest question of them all today. How do you feel about Antonio Brown's 29-point projection?
He's gonna nail it.
You think so?
You think?
Legit.
Look, it's realistic.
Yeah.
But I
Like,
want-
how do you
I wanna see
feel
your
that
take
he's
on it.
projected?
I
that
feel
much?
like you should not project anyone over 25.
Whoa. Okay.
What I mean, Antonio Brown
Definitely not.
definitely
No,
puts
not. I was
up
gonna say like 22 or
those
something.
numbers consistently,
Maybe just 20.
and he's consistently projected 22 to 24, but 29, that's like Aaron Rodgers projections. So
Good.
how you can justify giving that to any receiver or running back is pretty rough, especially when, I don't know, just kind of
Anyway,
they
how
can
do you-
score 27 points
Anyway,
and be underachieving.
my original first question, just to kick it off because this makes the most sense. How do you feel starting 0-1? Losing to Jackson Jarvis. Or as some may call him, Jarvo.
I didn't lose to Jackson Jarvis.
Let's
I
just
lost to
call him
James
Jarvis.
Conner. Let's be honest.
But who drafted James Conner?
It was probably an
Smartest
auto
man in
pick,
the
to
league
be
right
honest.
there.
Did he draft this year?
He did actually.
Is that his first time?
It's not.
Okay,
First
moving
time in about
on.
3 years.
So I got the two famous questions this week.
Well, that's the first one. I have one more, so.
Okay, yeah. So if you had hey, quit looking at my cheat sheet.
I can't read your chicken scratch.
If you had to pick the next winner on the trophy, who would it be?
Who I want it to be? Or
Yeah,
who will
it can't be
yourself.
yourself.
That was implied.
Hmm.
We have someone in the audience standing up cheering.
You have to score over 100 points to be cheering.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm going to go
Good
with
times
Grant
wrapping it up.
Roberts.
Into the mic.
He came in the league the same year as me and Noah, and he's the only member from that draft class to not have a championship
I think
trophy
Zach
yet.
no, Zach
Really?
Zach was the year after.
Yeah, you're right.
Noah won his first year, and I won the second year. We'd hoped Grant would follow up the trend the third year, but he hasn't came through for us yet.
I think the Bennett's came in that year too.
He's always got a solid
When they-
team.
when they-
Are you going to listen to my answer?
No.
You said Grant Roberts. I was listening.
Yeah.
Short answer, Grant Roberts.
All right.
Moving on.
0-1. You had a bad year last year. You think you're heading back? Are you at least a little bit scared that you're heading back down that road? The two, not 1 year's a fluke. If you miss two playoffs 2 years in a row, you're considered a bad fantasy player. At least
For
like
example, CC goes second place for 2 years.
misses 2 years, everyone
Misses
thinks
2
he's complete
years.
garbage.
I mean, in my mind, I think he's garbage, but really deep down, he's pretty good.
Power moves only, baby.
He's gonna win the championship this year.
Nothing can go wrong.
Well, if I'm right, that was the first year I have not made playoffs.
Mhm.
Last year, your Green Bay Packers did not make playoffs.
Correct.
Does that make them a bad team this year?
I said if they don't make playoffs this year, yeah. But
The
also,
question is, are you worried?
I'm not worried at all.
Okay. He's confident.
All I have to do is take one look at my roster.
so Ethan is saying is there's no possible way, like there's nothing that could happen.
Oh, I'm not saying that.
No, he's definitely saying. You heard it here, folks.
Too many knocks.
Nothing-
He knocked an even number of times.
Nothing could happen where he wouldn't make playoffs. All right, last question. You know what it's coming. The famous question.
If you had to pick one team manager to lose out the rest of the season, who would it be? We're talking potentially 0-13, maybe 1-12.
We're going to 1-12
0-13 because it's.
with Noah Dunsmore.
Well,
No, he
he
lost.
would be
0-13. He lost.
Oh.
Hey,
Should have won, but you're that bad.
don't forget, last place. Whoever, if Ethan's right, if it's Noah, you got to pay $5 to get the trophy engraved. So it doesn't want to be
huge.
Noah,
fine.
how would it feel to use your nice salaried job to pay $5 to put my name on the trophy?
You should
So
start a
pretty
GG8
great.
scholarship fund.
Okay, and I'm seeing the time is getting up to the high 14, so I think we
Yeah.
need to go ahead and wrap this up because with the intro that makes it 15, so I think that means we need to call it, boys. So I'm Brandon Scott.
I'm Ethan Wright.
And I'm Jake Vassar. Please like and subscribe in the bottom left corner.
This has been the Game Time Greatness Podcast.